7 still stranded in Tuvalu for 18 months. Opposition question NEC decision. And Central Province to begin vaccine rollout.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and welcome. This is Wednesday's news. It's been over a year since 7 employees of a Papua New Guinean construction company got stranded on the tiny island of Tuvalu. Not just that, but they are jobless after their term of contract for a jetty project ceased. The stranded 7 say contacting their family back home has often been difficult as they await government officials to assist repatriate them back home.
On the 9th of January 2020, these 7 men left PNG source for a construction of a jetty project on the island of Tuvalu. According to reports, the project ceased with the subcontractor facing bankruptcy. This left the 7 men losing their jobs. They have lived without pay for over 21 fortnights.
21 fortnights, we plan to pay. Now, all kids belong to all no school. Because no money to buy school fee, no money to buy bus fare, lunch money to no got.
It's not the first time the 7 have had the plight. Both local media outlets in Tuvalu and Papua New Guinea have reported the situation faced by the 7 men. In short video recordings, the men raised concerns of poor meals provided to them, difficulties to contact their family, and a poor response from PNG government officials, even from Nawe Construction, the employer.
Company no say up to date lo pay more allowance lo mi plow and more meal allowance, so hard. So one way mi plow mas fish long. Na salimon plow fish na pani mon plow money long.
Kai tu no good plow mas mi kai sem kai tasol. No katol kai do sol fruits kai about banana kumu something lo you kai.
With the employer closing down its operations in Papua New Guinea, the 7 men are officially jobless and now depend on the little allowance provided by the Tuvalu government. EA is part of an interview by ABC where the Tuvalu foreign minister talks about plans to repatriate the 7 men.
We're looking at allowance just for the to cover meals. As I understand, they're being accommodated at the moment on the barge that they came on. Well, we were actually hoping for one in the coming week, but given Fiji's situation now, it might take a bit longer. It could be anywhere between 2 to 1 month. But it all depends on the situation with Fiji. As you're probably aware, there was a sort of an outbreak of COVID-19 community transmission. So we're just monitoring that, and if things improve, then we can stage a flight.
Government officials in Papua New Guinea have kept a tight lip about assisting the men. It's been over 17 months for the men to fend for themselves while pursuing their efforts to return home. They say their families back in Papua New Guinea are also affected.
All family belong to place to all asking some financial side assistance. We talk about me hard because we plus staff not know what pay.
So please, we want to come home.
Jagla Power Jr. National EMTV News.
Central Province will begin its vaccine rollout program next week following the official declaration today at Edai Town. Witnessed by health dignitaries, stakeholders and the surrounding communities, the Provincial Health Authority launched the program with a demonstration showcasing the vaccination process.
I officially announce the Central Province vaccination program open.
Following the launching of the nationwide vaccination rollout program yesterday by Prime Minister James Marape, Central Province has taken the lead to promote and support the vaccination rollout.
Really appreciate everyone that's got us to this day, but we all still need to stick together for the long haul. There's still a lot of work to do to get the vaccination as far and as wide as possible within Central Province. I think we should all roll our sleeves up, get vaccinated, get ourselves protected, and get our community protected as well.
This morning, Central Provincial Health Authority with Edai Town Business for Health PNG and the neighboring communities of Boera, Papa, Lealea and Porebada came together to witness the demonstration of the vaccination process. As part of the launching, 3 CPG staffs led by Dr. Ila Temu, who volunteered to take the jab today, signified the start of vaccination in Central Province. The vaccine rollout in conjunction with the new Pelapasin strategy demonstrated today at Edai Town promotes the vaccine program aimed to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Central Province communities. As part of the rollout program, 15 post stations will be set up to host the vaccination program, which will commence next week in the 5 districts. Edai Town will serve as one of the host centers for vaccination of people living in the LNG impact areas in the Kairuku Eri district.
For the rollout, as I mentioned, we're starting with Hiri because the first training started with Hiri, and it's a plus that we also are starting here at Edai Town, and a nice facility that's set out there will be one of the places that we will continue to use to roll the COVID-19 vaccine out. From Monday onwards, we're starting with the other districts. And there have been teams allocated, teams of 3. And our chair lady is helping us, trying to negotiate some other things which will help us in ensuring a good rollout happens.
CPA expressed their appreciation to NCD and Gulf PHAs, private sector coalitions and volunteers in Port Moresby who have collaborated to successfully drive this health awareness program.
You know, this is a real partnership. It's brought in different sectors from the private as well as the public and non-profit NGOs as well as our development partners, DFAT, WHO, UNICEF. Amongst the southern region PHAs as well, in particular, the NCDC PHA, which Central Province has depended on quite significantly and heavily, and also the Gulf Province Health Authority. We share the same area, and we all interface into Port Moresby quite a bit. So it's been important that we work in collaboration.
Suli, National EMTV News.
Health Minister Jelta Wong has hailed the continuous support from donor partners during the pandemic. Speaking yesterday at a presentation at the National Control Centre, Minister Wong says the assistance will embrace PNG's struggling health system. Australia, New Zealand and France say they will continue to indulge into more dialogue and find better and improved ways to support Papua New Guinea's government and people during the pandemic.
Today, because it is important to us that when we provide assistance, we don't just provide a thing. Vaccines, for example, and then walk away, or an AUSMAT team will walk away. The assistance we provide, we like to make it sustainable, something that PNG can continue to work with, continue to work from, with designs and ideas that will continue. So today we are donating some of the equipment that AUSMAT bought so that Port Moresby General Hospital can continue to operate the triage and screening centre that they've set up jointly and some of the other mechanisms. And that's about 400,000 kina worth of equipment that will be staying on.
As New Zealand, we continue to look for avenues to work through FRANZ or bilaterally, New Zealand, PNG, or with other partners to support the government's efforts in addressing COVID-19. Over the past year, since the pandemic started, we've provided about 7 million New Zealand dollars worth of support directly to PNG to cover things like equipment and materials, budget support to NDOH, and we're continually looking for other ways we can try and to help out, basically, and cooperate with PNG.
The Marapa Basel government always, as a motto, which the Papua New Guinea government has always said, friends to all and enemies to none, and during our time where COVID has hit our country and we've had different types of surges in that, it's very appreciative from our people to accept some of the goods from our foreign partners.
You're watching National EMTV News. More of the day's stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. With the National Energy Authority bill passed in Parliament, consumers hope that this will enable better and affordable electricity in the country. Energy Minister Saki Soloma said the National Energy Authority will be the paramount body for management of the energy sector to deliver increased, affordable and consistent supply of electricity for commercial and industrial businesses. However, some, including Alotau MP Charles Abel, have queried the idea. During the last Parliament sitting, Yangoru Sausia MP Richard Maru raised concerns on power outage issues in his electorate.
Over 2 months ago, Mr. Speaker, a road contractor who is building a new bridge, or is building 3 new bridges along the Sipik Highway, paid PNG Power to relocate one section of the line, about 3 lines, in order for the road to be rerouted onto the new bridge. This job would normally take 2 days to complete. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is now 3 months. PNG Power has put off power to my entire district.
This has been identified as a common experience shared by residents and businesses in the country, with State Enterprises Minister William Duma highlighting incompetency in PNG Power Limited in his response to MP Maru.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is not the only occasion where people have complained about the lack of service being provided by employees of PNG Power. There is an entrenched culture of incompetence, and most of the employees, I must admit, are mediocre.
On the next day in Parliament, Energy Minister Saki Soloma tabled the National Energy Authority bill, in which a vote was taken and the result going well in favour of the ayes, with 73-0 easily surpassing the absolute majority of 56. In launching the National Energy Authority the following week, Minister Soloma said the National Energy Authority will work with PNG Power Limited and private sector companies, donors and financiers to provide electricity access to households in urban and rural communities, as well as businesses large and small.
The current regulation and management of the power industry has resulted in very little power access to our people in the rural and very remote areas of PNG. The private sector is also in dire need of adequate and regular electricity services they can rely on to grow their enterprises. The high cost for the use of diesel and high fuel oil for electricity generation for a long time has impacted the power industry significantly in terms of cost to PPL and cost to consumers.
However, the idea of having a National Energy Authority in place has not gone down well with some leaders.
But today, to address the energy problems of the country in PNG Power, it's not about creating a National Energy Authority. It's about the reforms, structural reforms and the recapitalisation of PNG Power, and the ensuring professional strategic management is in place through a properly appointed board.
With power outage issues continuing in the nation's capital, Port Moresby, and other business centres around the country, the government aims to provide solutions through the National Energy Authority. And with consumers hopeful that this will work out, they expect it sooner than later. Is it a desperate move to protect Police Commissioner David Manning? At least that's what the opposition leader believes, condemning the government's decision to abolish the Department of Police and Office of the Secretary for Police.
This is the gazettal notice released by the Government Printing Office yesterday. In bold and capsized letters, it reads, "Abolishment of the Department of Police and Office of the Secretary for the Department of Police." The National Gazette is signed by the Governor-General, acting with and in accordance with the advice from the National Executive Council. While this for a moment created confusion, the Minister for Justice and Attorney General Brian Kramer came out on social media explaining that the Department of Police and the Office of the Secretary of Police was just a paper office as per a Gazette notice of 1976. The department nor the office really existed. The NEC, based upon advice from the Attorney General, the State Solicitor and the Solicitor General, revoked the 1976 Gazette, abolishing the Department of Police and the Office of the Secretary of Police. Kramer went on to explain that the decision also follows views from the National Court judgment in the case between Calout versus NEC. But that gazette has not been accepted by opposition leader Belden Nama, condemning the government's decision.
I don't know if they have discussed this widely with their lawyers before taking into consideration their submission and making this decision. So you have three things. One, you have now put all the civil servants into the redundancy. Two, you have a police commissioner that is no longer a police commissioner. He's out of job. Three, the police minister is also out of job.
Suspended ACP Human Resource Sylvester Calout believes the change is in contempt of court.
And it's a knee-jerk reaction by NEC and the Governor General to make such a decision at this point in time when the matter is before the court. It would be advisable for them after the court ruling, after the appeal case is over, then nothing stopping the government as it is their prerogative to make changes and what have you. But at this point in time, to me as a first respondent in the appeal matter, I think it's an act that amounts to contempt of court and disrespect to the court.
How can he justify protecting a man who has been proven before the proper court of law that he lacks qualification to be the police commissioner?
But according to Kramer, while there is a Supreme Court appeal on foot challenging the National Court decision ruling, the decision by NEC appointing Manning as the Commissioner of Police is no longer being challenged before the court. He states the Supreme Court is reviewing the decision of the National Court and nothing else outside the ruling. Shamin Porambeb, National EMTV News.
A senior teacher at the Busamang Primary School in Morobe, Michael Mote, says implementing the standard-based curriculum continues to be a challenge. This is because there are no teaching materials provided to the school. Mr. Mote said this is one of the school's greatest concerns.
The Busamang Primary School is a Level 5 school in the Salamaua Rural LLG, Huon Gulf, and is the only one in the district. A senior teacher, Michael Mote, said despite its level, the school struggles with infrastructure and teaching materials.
Level 5, but in terms of infrastructure and teaching, learning, curriculum for students, teachers to use, it's still a big problem to this school.
Mr. Mote has been teaching here for 3 years and is one of 15 others posted at this school. With schools implementing the Education Department's Standard-Based Curriculum, or SBC, Mr. Mote said they do not have the teaching materials. This has been an ongoing concern.
We are now running this, the school is now implementing this SBC, the new Standard-Based Education System. Hope it is throughout the country and likewise here in Busamang. But the material to run this program, run this new system is still a big problem.
While this rural school is dependent on the government for supplies, they've been getting support from parents. This classroom was built with the support from parents but is now falling apart. Despite such struggles, teachers like Mr. Mote continue to provide the service of education to children in this community. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Ley.
25 primary school teachers from Morobe received their retrenchment notice from the Teaching Service Commission last year. Most of the teachers graduated with their teaching certificates and served as teachers for over 30 years. They were put off pay beginning this year and are yet to receive their final entitlements.
They filled in this form.
Morobe's acting program advisor for education, Keith Tangui, said 25 long-serving primary school teachers in Morobe received retrenchment notices from the employer, the Teaching Services Commission, towards the end of last year. They were put off pay this year and were following up on their final entitlements since their retirement last year. Tangui said the delay was due to the teachers not filling in this form, called the TSC Form 38, in order to receive their entitlements.
They were given a letter by the Commission because they reached age of 60 and above. Commission said, by end of 2020, December, you must be ready to prepare to exit the teaching force. They didn't fill in this form. All they thought that Commission is retiring them, and then they just went out.
Teachers are among the officers under the public service that should retire when they reach the age of 65 years. Teaching Services Commission is currently using the TSC Act 1983 to retire teachers who have reached the retrenchment age.
Some of them don't have diploma, some of them don't have a degree, they just got a teaching certificate. So these are the old people, the first lot phase everybody out, and then we got a diploma ones coming in. So this year at Balo, for example, we are doing the degree course now. They'll be graduating with a degree in primary teaching.
Morobe Provincial Education has stepped in and assisted the 25 retired teachers to fill in the TSC retirement form. The teachers will be paid their final entitlements once TSC receives their forms. Julie Badui, Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
Mosby Northeast Electorate is supporting small to medium enterprises in the district with financial literacy trainings. Yesterday, the fourth batch of participants graduated with certificates in basic financial literacy, with more to graduate in the coming days. The participants will come under Mosby Northeast Holdings Limited. The Mosby Northeast Electorate allocated 7 million kina to run the SME and MSME training program.
John Kawa providing money. John Kawa providing training. John Kawa won't make miracle for you. How you making money? That's you. You believe in yourself. How by you turning 1,000, you go to 2,000, it's you. I'm going to help you. Are you going to make it happen? You here. Each and every one, individual. Asking you here.
The Business Council of Papua New Guinea's data analysis findings from a survey conducted for the fourth quarter of the 2020 business year reveals that the majority of businesses in PNG continued to experience financial decline through to the end of 2020. Executive Director of the Business Council of PNG, Doveri Henao, revealed this whilst explaining the data analysis results in a news conference this afternoon. The survey results show that at least 60% of the businesses surveyed did not meet their projected results for Q4 2020, with 69% of respondents reporting a decline in their 2020 annual revenue compared to the previous year. This is mainly due to the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions put in place.
The demand is not at levels that we would see a hype of activity. And so, aside from the financial and productivity challenges, respondents also say that the lack of foreign currency and the inability to get the right skills in country at the right time remains the major business impediment.
However, despite the continued trend of financial decline, business leaders in PNG are showing a hint of optimism when it comes to their short-term business prospects. 44% are expecting revenue growth in the next 6 months, while 25% are expecting revenue decline. This is a significant improvement from the previous quarter, when only 9% anticipated revenue growth in the next 6 months and 74% anticipated revenue decrease.
70% of the respondents are now able to operate in the current environment, for more than 12 months. Again, this is a continuous improvement from Q2 and Q1. So in Q2, we had 51% that said they would operate beyond 12 months, and in Q1 it was much lower, 35%. So we're beginning to see business confidence prevailing.
Concerns were raised by respondents of the survey on the government's stimulus package announced last year. The survey results revealed that the stimulus package is yet to create a positive impact on the respondents' businesses, with 59% rating the stimulus package as not effective at all. The government made economic growth predictions for this year in the April Parliament sitting, but not without opposition MPs slamming some of its predictions, describing them as unrealistic. Executive Director Henao says the Business Council of PNG's stance on economic growth predictions for 2021 by the government will become clearer after first and second quarter business survey results are analysed. And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.2775 $0.3549 Australian dollars, $0.3829 New Zealand dollars, and 29.70 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa and copper closed lower, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading higher, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is also trading higher. When we return, we look at stories making headlines overseas. Don't go away. Welcome back. A total of 224 solar vaccine refrigerators and freezers have been presented to the National Department of Health today. This was made possible through UNICEF and Gavi in partnership with World Health Organization. The solar vaccine generator will help strengthen, improve and sustain the cold chain system for the country's overall immunization program. This assistance is part of a larger support initiated in 2020 by Gavi at a cost of 14 million kina. That involved the provision of 674 cold chain equipment to help boost the country's cold chain capacity for safe storage of vaccines. The equipment were presented to Health Minister Jelta Wong today.
Continue to prioritize investment in the health and development of every child in Papua New Guinea. We must ensure that they receive the essential life-saving vaccines that will protect them against childhood diseases. So this cold chain works really well for Papua New Guinea. It will hold the COVID vaccines as well as other vaccines that we use.
While we continue to support in the strengthening of the routine immunization program in the country, I hope that our dear partners at the Department of Health will also prioritize the maintenance of this equipment.
This equipment will help strengthen routine immunisation services in the provinces and ensure high-quality vaccines are available to all children. This will also facilitate the successful outreach of the Sleeves Up campaign, which we launched yesterday with
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Tukai Sports. The NCDC Port Moresby Vipers will take on the Kimbe Cutters this weekend. The team will be captained by Thompson Tete for the 2021 season. This was confirmed by coach Leonard Tarum. The Vipers are set to announce their 18-man squad on Friday before the match on Saturday.
The capital city's franchise, the Money Plus NCDC Vipers, will take on the Kimbe Cutters this Saturday in round 1 of the Digicel Cup. The Vipers are set for the season with the team having to trim down from a squad of 60 players during the pre-season. The team was out at training yesterday with Thompson Tete named as captain for the Vipers in the 2021 season. This was confirmed by coach Leonard Tarum.
We've given the responsibility of Captain C to Thompson to lead the boys this year.
The Vipers had their most fulfilling season in a long time last year, finishing 4th in the regular season, but were knocked out in the preliminary finals by the Premier's Hella Wigmen. This year, the team has recruited heavy in the off-season and are hoping to go all the way to the grand final.
We recruited from our local league, Port Moresby Rugby League. We were able to pick up a few young players from the finals last year. And they look promising, and we'll just have to have more time to spend with them, and they'll become better. Finalize our 21-man squad for this weekend. And I think later on in the week, hopefully Friday, we'll finalize our 18 men to go into camp.
The team also welcomed former Hunters forward Dilbert Isaac, who had to sit out a season due to injury. Dilbert will bring the much-needed impact up front after the departure of Enoch Maki to the Hunters.
He was with the Hunters back then, and then I think he had an injury and laid off for some time, and we were able to snap him from the streets. So now he'll take the space vacated by Enoch, and I know he's an experienced player, and that depth is going to be filled by him.
Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
SP PNG Hunters have called on one of the country's most exciting teenagers to wear the number 6 jersey for Sunday's Intrust Super Cup clash with Brisbane Tigers at Runaway Bay. Judah Rimbu, who has played 4 games off the interchange bench this season, will replace experienced playmaker Watson Boas, who has returned to England to complete his contract with League One club Doncaster.
The replacement of Ase Boas, the influential 70-game veteran who has played 9 times for the Kumuls, is one of 2 forced changes in the Hunters lineup for the round 6 clash with the Tigers at Bycroft Oval. Energetic utility forward Edwin Ipape will return in round 8 from a 2-game suspension collected in the Hunters' 25-18 Kokora Cup loss to Burleigh Bears. 19-year-old Judah Rimbu played 70 minutes against the Burleigh Bears, has benefited from time in camp with the Hunters squad and valuable time with Boas in preparation for the veteran's departure. Playing for the Premier's Hella Wigmen, Rimbu was last season's Rookie of the Year in PNG's Digicel Cup competition. While Boas and Ipape join an absentee list that also includes winger Brandon Gutuno, Enoch Maki and Joe Joshua, coach Matt Church believes he has the depth in the side to continue the Hunters' consistency and enthusiasm, which has delivered 3 wins from 5 games in 2021. The Hunters enter Sunday's match in 4th place, while the Tigers are 9th after 2 wins from their opening 5 matches. Sunday's clash at the Runaway Bay Seagulls base of Bycroft Oval will kick off at 3 p.m. Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues with more after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The High Performance Manager says they are set to assist national athletes in their preparations towards the Tokyo Olympics and other international sporting events, including the Birmingham 2022. After moving back to Sejonggai Stadium from the Taurama Aquatic Center, Papau says focus is now on helping athletes achieve goals despite the challenges of the COVID situation in the country.
As isolation eases in the nation's capital, national athletes are getting back to their training routines, and High Performance Papua New Guinea sees a good commitment despite the COVID situation.
Okay, starting last week on Thursday, we have 25 athletes, Team PNG athletes, coming in for testing and screening with the High Performance division. So it's quite exciting, although we got the lockdown that happened in Port Moresby, but we have seen that the athletes have really focused, the commitment in training and with high performance and sports specific is really excellent, and it's the testing that they've gone through. It will be for them to test the performance, and obviously we can work on the disadvantaged side if they're not trained properly.
So far, weightlifting, boxing and sailing, among others, have reported to HPPNG as part of their preparations towards Tokyo Olympic. While routine slowly returns for the athletes, HPPNG manager says movement of the office has been disruptive to athletes' preparations.
Since 2016 till to date, we got really been disturbed by the movement from Aquatic Center to the stadium and really disrupted the preparation for Team PNG to any international events. But we're working around things. It's good for us to stay committed to our purpose and our mission to assist those PNG athletes prepare to the highest level they can to go over to the international events.
While Tokyo Olympic nears for PNG Olympic target sporting codes, HPPNG is also set on assisting other codes towards other international sporting events, including the upcoming ICC T20 World Cup for Cricket PNG.
We got other codes beside the Olympics. We got other codes which send their requests. So we got the PNG Peppers, the netball, basketball, Middle Nation Cup and the regional. We got the AFL for the international cup, and cricket PNG for the T20 World Cup. That's Paramandis and the levels. So it's quite exciting to see other sports have already with the international federations really work end in end to set up their events and for them to be assisted by the High Performance Division.
Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
The weather report for the next 24 hours after these messages. Stay tuned for the details.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: Port Moresby, Daru and Popondetta mostly fine. Kerama partly cloudy with possible overnight brief showers. Alotau fine night. To the Momase region, Ley partly cloudy with brief showers. Wewak partly cloudy with possible overnight showers. Medang cloudy with a few showers. Vanimo cloudy periods with possible overnight showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau partly cloudy with few showers. Kavieng cloudy periods with few showers and possible thunderstorms. Kokopo and Rabaul cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorms. Kimbe cloudy with some showers. Buka cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. In the Highlands region, all centers to expect cloudy periods with few evening showers then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 5th of May 2021. Pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.